Welcome to our sustainable fashion episode of Fashion Reverie Talks. I am Tijana Ibrahimovic.
I am Cicily Daniels.
And I'm Carl Ayers.
Fashion Reverie takes you from the front lines of fashion to the front row.
All of Fashion Reverie Talks segments are based on published content found on fashionreverie.com.
So if you want more information on these segments or anything else, go to fashionreverie.com. And we start every episode of Fashion Reverie Talks with our fashion news segment. And it's right from the headlines of our fashion news alerts found on fashionreverie.com. So this week, we're going to start with what's currently in the news, of course, and that is New York Fashion Week. So it's time for New York Fashion Week. We've seen the shows, the men's shows from Milan and Paris. We've seen the couture shows in Paris, but now it's ready for the women pret-a-porter or the ready-to-wear here in New York. But for some designers, they're taking a different route. So a number of designers have either canceled, postponed, or reimagined their shows for this season. So Gucci, they won't present this collection during Fashion Week, but instead they're going to present on May 16th in Milan. Tom Brown is moving his collection to April 29th, to right before the Met Gala. And Tom Ford has canceled the show completely because of a COVID outbreak in both his studio and his factory. And then we have Versace, who has pulled out of the men's shows in Milan, but they reimagined with a 3-minute video of their menswear collections. So New York Fashion Week, of course, requires attendees to be fully vaccinated. And so that is kind of, what's people are flim-flamming about. Some people still don't want to be vaccinated, but they still want to attend shows. And of course they can't. But the pandemic has definitely changed how we present our collections throughout, not just New York, but throughout the world. And it's helped, brands kind of realign their fashion calendar. So now a lot of them are producing closer to the retail cycle versus a production cycle than a retail cycle. So we will see what's going to happen here in New York. I'll be at some shows. We'll see how many people actually show up again this season. Ladies, what do you think?
I'm all about safety first. So, I hope, yes. I wish everyone well in their health journeys, but I know I don't want to go to anybody's runway show and then come home with COVID instead of a new coat. So I'm like, whatever precautions they need to take, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think every brand and every designer has to make an individual decision on what works best for their brand and for their audience or / buyers. So I think so far, Fashion Week in the past few seasons has been functioning somewhat halfway. And even with the requirement of being vaccinated, I think that worked well as well. I didn't hear of any cases where someone picked up COVID. So I think, we'll see what happens. But I mean, these Fashion Weeks really need some kind of reinvention, because the way it's not going that well. I remember seasons ago, New York Fashion Week used to be just so much more exciting and so much better organized, and yeah. Attendees were more interesting, etc. So let's see. It requires a change. We'll see what that change will be.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And so for our viewers, come back to fashionreverie.com for our updates and our reviews of everything going on during New York Fashion Week.
Well, as we're talking about the changes that happen in Fashion Week, obviously brands are all about promoting and marketing in different ways, and also ways that they're hoping to keep people engaged and excited. So Balenciaga has a new marketing campaign, and a lot of people's favorite celebrities will be part of it. Kim Kardashian, Justin Bieber, Isabelle Huppert, and it is interesting, and I don't know if it has anything to do with COVID, but I think it's kind of interesting that people were shot and they were photographed in their homes. And I wonder if there was anything about COVID or safety or anything like that as to why they chose those locations. But they will be featured wearing the newest pieces from the collection. And like, it's basically like they're gonna drop kind of images throughout the season. So it's definitely a different way of marketing, but I think again they're trying to the creative director Demna Vasalia is sorry is she's made garments for Kim Kardashian previously, and all of these garments are obviously going to be something that Balenciaga wants to have a big impact on its buyers. And in case Balenciaga, anyone from your department is watching, I do like Kim's bag that she is photographed with, so if you have an extra, you can send it my way. I mean, do you guys think it'll be effective?
I think so.
I think they had to do what they had to do. It was probably complicated to get them all together to work on a campaign. But right. I mean, what comes to mind is Kim's SNL after party outfit. And that's not something I would wear at home for sure. So I don't know. Let's see.
Well, for me, what it reminds me of is the beginning of the pandemic, where a lot of these campaigns of photo shoots, these editorials were shot over Zoom or over these video conference calls. So I think it was Bella Hadid who I think shot one of the first new campaigns at the beginning of the pandemic. So it's like we're coming full circle again. We had that in the beginning, and then we had people coming together for socially distanced and safety protocol followed photo shoots in person. And now it's like we're going back to what we had at the beginning of the pandemic. But look, if it worked the first time, if it cuts down on costs, cuts down on labor, why not? Give it a try. We're here to try new things.
And keeps us safe. So,
That's right. Yeah.
I think, in the beginning, it was sort of innovative, but now 2 years later, I don't know if it is to do it remotely. And Balenciaga probably has a big, nice budget. So I don't know. But
they do.
Of innovative, Manfred Thierry Mugler has passed away. He was he sort of helped usher the 1980s power dressing for women. And all of his shows were very theatrical and highly choreographed on the level of a Hollywood extravaganza. So he really sort of arrived on the scene with a boom. And he's the one that was a designer that was including everyone, famous actors, artists, porn stars, even Ivana Trump walked in one of his shows later on. So he was truly special, and it's a huge loss for the fashion industry, even though he hasn't really been focusing on Mugler Fashion House. He sold it to Clarence, but in 1997. And so he focused on other things. He even changed his physical appearance and, wanted to sort of separate Mugler with Thierry Mugler with Manfred. So that's what he sort of referred to himself. But of course, speaking again of Kim, I think Kim Kardashian, most of us remember her look for the Met Gala, where she wore his latex, like wet look dress, which was quite impressive. So I think it's really sad. I don't think we see a lot of designers like Manfred today on the scene. I think everything is kind of becoming a little bit of cookie cutter. And I think, I'm awaiting the next Mugler to come to the scene. So, he inspired a lot of designers like McQueen, Jeremy Scott, a lot of superstars like Gaga, Madonna, Diana Ross, David Bowie wore him, Beyonce. So yeah, it's a huge loss.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge loss to the industry. Like you said, he's inspired McQueen and Jeremy Scott. There are not many designers who have the talent and flamboyance of presentation as Mugler. I mean, the only other ones that really come to mind, aside from McQueen and Jeremy Scott, would be like a Jean-Paul Gaultier. Even Galliano tried some things. Vivienne Westwood tried some things, but there are not many that have the over-the-top exuberance of Mugler. What I do love is that for the longevity of his career, he tied the old glamour or the older celebrities, and he's also been a fan favorite of the newer celebrities. Like you mentioned, Kim Kardashian, but also Cardi B wore this one dress that was like an ode to Botticelli. It's incredible. Like his fashion was not just clothing, but it was artwork, and he will be, terribly missed. And there are big shoes to fill now that he's gone.
I thought it was really interesting, the article that he started out wanting to be a director. So I imagine him bringing that, that theatricality and, kind of that artistic sense to all of his work. And I'd be remiss to say that he also featured a friend of Fashion Reverie, supermodel Coco Mitchell, who used to both walk his shows and also had a fragrance campaign with Mugler. So I think that's really cool. Like just the connections that we have. Of course, he will be missed, but his contributions, were very important, and the legacy will continue.
Wow, that went by quick. That's it for our fashion news segment. So, viewers, if you want to hear more about these stories or others, please go to fashionreverie.com. And now to continue with our theme of sustainability on this episode of Fashion Reverie Talks, we are joined by the newly crowned Miss Earth USA 2022, Miss Natalia Salmon.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. And oh my gosh, it's just been great. I've been watching you guys, with your beginning segment, and it's so cool just what you guys are talking about and just how you guys do it. It's great. But thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. It is our pleasure to have you. So let's just start from the beginning. You are the newest title holder for USA, especially for this pageant, Miss Earth USA. So tell me, how does it feel? How does it feel?
It feels. I've been trying to figure that out myself, to be honest with you. At first, it was like, oh my gosh, no way, like this actually happened. I don't know if you guys saw my reaction video of me winning or just the crowning moment, but that was my true and honest reaction. I didn't think I was going to win. Of course, I wanted to. Everyone wanted to, but I actually hearing my name called was just such an amazing feeling. But just the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to get my emotions together, really figure out. But it's really just being blessed and honored that I'm really excited for everything that's going on this year, and I'm still kind of trying to remember, every day I'm Miss Earth USA. I have other duties to do in my life, but it's still great. It's, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And I wouldn't trade it for the world.
It has to be an amazing feeling because, for our viewers who may not know, Miss Earth is one of the big four beauty competitions around the globe. There's Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss International, and Miss Earth. But Miss Earth is a little different from the other three. Can you explain what makes Miss Earth so unique?
Yes, we are different. And if you guys could tell by the name Earth, we are all about environmental awareness and education and preserving our beautiful Mother Earth, combating climate change, and just trying to make the world a better place, greener, cleaner, more eco-friendly, and things of that nature. So that's the main difference between the other pageants, because we are the only pageant actually that focuses on environmental awareness. So that's really cool and interesting.
So your personal pageant platform was to raise awareness about environmental issues and advocate for more sustainable living. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I'm all about being more self-aware of what's going on in your life as well as the world around you. And there's so many different ways that we could be more sustainable in our everyday lives. And I feel like a lot of us know already what those ways are, but it's just being more self-conscious about it to actually say, okay, wait, I could do this more sustainably, or I could do this in a different way. I don't always need to use these plastics, or I don't have to constantly throw out in, of course, the fashion world, I don't have to buy a new piece of wardrobe every day and things of that nature. So even something on a very micro scale, if enough of us do it, it'll be very macro results. So any kind of personal, environmental kind of, where am I going with this? I really just want you guys to be able to look into yourselves and say, okay, I know that this is an issue and I have different tools that I know about already that I can help to try to combat this. And that's what I'm really trying to get.
And that's wonderful for a beauty pageant to be so socially conscious, not just, focus on beauty and education, of course, but also about the globe and about the future of the globe in itself.
Yes, because that's exactly why there's so many different issues that are going on today, and they're all equally important. Nothing is as more important than the other. However, it's like our earth is where we live, and if we don't take care of it, we're not going to be able to focus on anything else. So might as well start the core.
Exactly. So now you are here today on our sustainable beauty episode. There's no way we can have you on a fashion talk show and not talk a little bit about fashion. So first, tell me about this beautiful crown that you have on.
Oh yes, this is actually so you guys could get a better look at it. This is the first crown of the first of this kind of crown. This was the first year that we had it made. I want to get more details about it. Yes, it is a new design. I want to get more details about it because I'm actually not too sure, but it is the first. And I know that there's 5 different stars on it, and that all represent the different elements. If you guys don't know, we have an elemental quart. So my 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st runner up are all part of my elemental quart: eco, fire, water, and air. So yes, it all represents, different parts of the earth and unity and all that, but it's so pretty, super big, and still getting used to wearing it a lot, that's for sure.
It's a beautiful, beautiful headpiece. So now I wore green for you for you today. So what are some of your favorite
green's my favorite
brands?
Green is actually my favorite color. I
Mine
love
so
green, but specifically, yes, okay. I'm glad it's not just me, because that's what I really tell people, that's the reason why I like green. It's so calming to look at, and I wear glasses. Could be pretty blind, and every time I got a new pair growing up, I always loved looking at the trees and looking at the details of the trees, and I think that's where my love of green came from. So that's really cool.
That's amazing. That is amazing. See, we are here. We're here.
We're here with it.
But speaking of fashion, what do you think the fashion industry can do to become even more eco-friendly?
There's so much. Oh my goodness. When it comes down to the fashion industry, or really a lot of different industries, it comes down to manufacturing. Manufacturing is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, polluter across the world when it comes to CO2 emissions and things of that nature. So it's all about not trying to, fast fashion, it's in the name, quickly getting out all the products, or all these cheaply made clothes, not great material, just because we're trying to keep up with the times and trying to make a statement, or just trying to make as much money as possible, I guess you could say, when it comes to manufacturing. However, we really need to take a look at how this is affecting our earth. Thousands of pounds of clothes are probably thrown away daily, and washing up in shores, washing up in deserts, washing up all across the world. And these things don't decompose. It's not a plastic, but they're made of plastic materials. Like polyester is majorly plastic. So these things are not going to break down, and they're just going to stay there. But once we actually start developing more quality ways to produce these clothes, as well as getting the quality material to produce them, or to use in them as well, that's really when the change is going to be made. However, I do see that the big thing with fast fashion is that it's cheap and it's inexpensive. And that's true. I have bought fast fashion clothing. However, what we have to do with that as a society is not just throw it away. Do your research. Make sure that that clothing that you're getting from your Forever 21s or your Fashion Nova, I shop there. I'm not gonna lie to you, but you got to make sure that you're in Shein. That's a big one. There are actual clothes on there that have better quality material. Look at your reviews. People who make reviews and take pictures of clothes are amazing. Literally love you
Yes.
guys.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Yeah. But use those reviews. Use all the pictures that you could find and do your own research. If you aren't able to actually return them, there's so many different resale sites out there. Facebook Marketplace, my favorite, Queenly, when it comes to gowns, because gowns are expensive. We
They're
all know
expensive.
this.
Yes.
And you don't want to just wear it once and then just have it hung up. And yeah, no. But with the
Yeah.
resale sites, you can even get your own money back. And it's such a great and sustainable way to help when it comes to fashion. But it really and truly, if other than us ourselves going through and doing the resell, reuse, and reshare, it really comes down to these manufacturing companies, not just with fashion, but across all industries and all boards. The mass production of just consumer goods, being a consumer country, as well as, I guess, even though not a consumer world, but a consumer world, we really need to look into ourselves and see, okay, we're really polluting our planet with what we're doing, how we're doing it. Let me see if there are different ways that we could try to combat this.
Exactly. I could not have said that better myself. Thank you.
Thanks. I try.
but there's one thing that you hit on. You were talking about quality over quantity, and for us, it's quality not just about clothing, but quality of life in general.
Yeah.
So now I have to read this from my notes because I could not memorize everything that you do. So aside from being a national beauty queen, right? You are a certified climate reality leader. You're a crisis text counselor, and you are also the founder of Squad Limitless, which is an organization helping children and young adults discover their true identities and realize their full potential by developing their emotional intelligence. That's quite an undertaking. How did you decide to start an organization with this purpose in mind?
It was all my own life journey. I just I wanted to teach what I have learned in my life and what I found extremely helpful to get through, to just navigate. And that's really where Squad Limitless came all about. My one coach, Ocelia, she helped me really grab all that together and actually make something of it. But yeah, living life, growing up, I grew up in as a minority in an area where not a lot of people look like me, small town vibes, and also in an immigrant household. So there's a lot of different societal pressures that I had to face in my life. And it was really just getting to know who I was truly, honestly and truly, and becoming more confident in myself to make me get through everything that I was getting through. And I ended up learning about emotional intelligence in a college class. It was a management class, actually, that I took. Totally out the blue. It was an elective. I randomly chose it because it sounded interesting. I did not think I'll be learning about emotional intelligence, but we did. And when I learned about that, when I tell you a light bulb went off, like a light bulb went off. It was that I was at that point in my life that, I wasn't really happy with everything I was doing. The day to day, my routine wasn't where I wanted it to be. I wasn't, I guess, excelling the way that I wanted to. And I you could say I really was feeling a little depressed, a little sad, but using emotional intelligence, that really kind of sat me back into it and really made me realize this is who I am. And my bad traits aren't bad traits. No one has bad traits. It's just traits that you might need to work on a little bit to control more, but it's nothing about you is bad. And that's what I want to learn. That's what I want to teach other people, is that this is, or to introduce them at least, like, this is who you are. This is how you could understand your emotions, understand your feelings, be more determined, be more confident in yourself, and as well as develop empathy, because that is the biggest thing. And that honestly, the world runs off of empathy. Is developing that emotional intelligence, that empathy to help others and to understand what others are going through. Because that just makes you, I feel like, a better friend, more relatable person. And it just also allows you to, like I said before, be more self-aware with what's going on in the world. And that's what I have combined with my Miss Earth platform, is that emotional intelligence aspect and that self-awareness aspect. Because if I'm able to tell you, hey, look, this is what's going on. These are some different things you could do. Say there was or in Peru, the oil spill that's basically going on right now. What are you going to do about it? if you don't care about the people that are there, or you don't have any kind of empathetic feeling towards climate change, towards anything in the world, you're not going to want to help. And that's where we need to start at, is developing that empathy, that self-awareness to understand what's going on in the world around you and actually want to make a change.
Once again, I could not have said it more. I could not have said it better. Natalia, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Earth USA 2022, Natalia Salmon. Natalia, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to root you on in your competition, your international competition this fall.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm hoping it's in person. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. You take care.
So we just got a lot of motivation from Miss Earth, and we are going to continue talking about sustainable fashion by talking about sustainable beauty. There is a wonderful article that was written by associate editor Cameron Gray Rose, who's unable to join us today, but we're going to discuss a few of her favorite products for those of us trying to make more sustainable choices. And I am going to start. There is a new product line called Hey Humans that is available at Target. It was co-founded by Jada Pinkett Smith, and it's a personal care brand. They are 99% plastic free, dermatologist tested, vegan, all the things that you're trying to do, and made in with sustainable packaging to reduce plastic. And they have Target often has good price points, and this is no exception. So things are starting at $4.99 and might be a couple dollars more if you want a deodorant or a lotion or a toothpaste, and everything has these beautiful kind of natural smells. If anything is lavender and vanilla, I'm already there because those are two of my favorite smells. So like you need anything, it's like, I'm like, oh, it's lavender and vanilla. So obviously not too expensive, easy to try. And I'm excited to try several things.
Several things.
I just whole line. My husband's like, what is this box? I could afford the whole line. It was less than $50.
Get it all for her. Get it all for her. But I appreciate celebs being socially and environmentally conscious. All right, this is what true influencing looks like. So good for Jada Pinkett Smith, good for Target, good for our pockets, because giving the people what they want at an affordable price, I'm always here for that.
Right.
I mean, I find it interesting. Why didn't we do this sooner? All these quality, sustainable products are actually so much better for our well-being and for our pockets, as Carl just mentioned. So another brand that she mentions, that Cameron mentions in her article, is Amour Vert. And it's a brand that consists of high quality, elegant separates and stunning floral print dresses, but they're devoted to sustainable practices. So they made a point to develop sustainable, eco-friendly raw fibers for their fabrics, as well as they demand ethically produced wool. So your order will come in a recycled, compostable cardboard printed with soy-based inks. So very cool, very interesting. And if that's not enough, they partnered with American Forests to plant a tree for every t-shirt they sell. And to date, almost over 350,000 trees have been planted.
Wow, that's a lot of trees. That's amazing.
That's being responsible.
All right, come through. I like their name for the French speakers, where I'm like, ooh, green love. I think that's just so cute.
Yes.
Like if you translate it to French. So I was like, I like, like hidden in there, letting people know like what they're about in a different way with the name of their brand. I think is fun.
See, for me, what I like is that they're not just sustainable, they're responsible, going from, they participate in the entire life cycle of their product, from garments, working with mills to make sustainable sustainable fabrics. That's what I'm trying to say, sustainable fabrics. But also they have an e-commerce website called Reamore, so you can love it again, where customers can buy and sell their already used, already purchased garments. So it doesn't go to a landfill. You don't have to give it back to the company for them to repurpose it. You can just resell it on their own website. It keeps it going. I I love it. I'm more Bale. I love it. So now I get to talk about one of my favorites. And so, guys, fellas, we're not being left out of the equation. One of my favorite brands is Everlane. So Everlane, they create women's wear and menswear. And there's actually this like track crew neck shirt and pants that I want to get. So, if you see me with it, just mind the business, it's mine. So Everlane makes great foundation pieces for your wardrobe. So these are your staples. This is what you can build upon. So you don't always have to worry about, getting new pieces and adding for, a pop of color or some statement. These are your staples. These are what you're going to wear all the time. And they do it clean and ethically. So let me read from my notes. Their process reduces carbon emissions. It reduces waste. It reduces chemicals, reduces plastics. They use certified organic cotton to produce clean denim, which with recycled water, renewable energy, and chemical-free yarn. This is like, sustainability on steroids. And they also follow the International Labor Organization standards to track the safety and well-being of their employees and their subcontractors. So they're not just focusing on Mother Earth and the environment, they're focusing on the people as well, making sure that they have good wages, clean working environments, safe working environments, and that they can live, they can practice what they preach. They can live the life that they're telling everyone else to live. And I absolutely love them for that.
I think that's awesome, especially that part about the workers, because sometimes, when brands are trying to make these decisions, they don't always, I think about the whole picture of what they're doing and who is being affected. And that obviously includes the workers who are creating this fashion, and they should be able to be living a wonderful, sustainable life. And that's including how much they're getting paid. And so I really like that they take that time to, look into those aspects as well. Well, viewers, if you want to find out about the rest of the brands, please go to the article on fashionreverie.com. And that is it for this episode of Fashion Reverie Talks.
So we would like to thank our guest, Miss Earth USA 2022, Natalia Salmon, for joining us today.
And for information on these and other stories, go to fashionreverie.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.